It's Thursday, the 2nd of March, 2023. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 big stories in 5 minutes. Let's jump straight into it. Story number 1, higher interest rates look to be biting the Australian economy, with growth during the December quarter coming in at just 0.5% and monthly inflation readings lower than expected.
Yes, the economy expanded not quite as quickly as most forecasters thought. It was down from 0.7% in the September quarter. Now, annual growth for 2022 came in at 2.7%, but clearly the economy was slowing towards the back end of that 12 months. Consumption and net trade, think high commodity prices, drove the quarterly result. One very notable fact was that the household saving ratio fell from 7.1% to 4.5%. Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers said the Australian economy is moderating as expected, and it's the inevitable consequence of global challenges, high inflation and rising interest rates. Now, the national accounts show that consumer prices rose by about 1.5% during the December quarter. The monthly inflation reading that came out yesterday from the Bureau of Statistics rose 7.4% for the year to the end of January. Put those numbers together and you just get a feel that the heat is coming out of inflation. Chalmers said he's hopeful that inflation has peaked. He's probably right. The question is now, how fast will it come down? Australia really is doing pretty well. It's growing better than most other parts of the economy. In fact, it's twice the pace of the OECD average. But the recent run of data just hasn't been as encouraging. That is something that the Reserve Bank will take note of. In fact, some people think that yesterday's figures will encourage the Reserve Bank to end this rate hike cycle that's going on. And maybe we'll only get 1, perhaps 2 more rate hikes. Have to wait and see on that one.
Sean, on to story number 2, and a big story in politics. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has ruled out removing the capital gains tax exemption on the family home as the government really scrambled to contain the pushback from its decision to lift taxes on superannuation accounts worth more than $3 million.
Yeah, he was pretty emphatic yesterday, and I quote, "We're not going to impact the family home, full stop, !" He told ABC Radio. He said it's a bad idea and no one's raised it at all in Cabinet. Now, earlier in the day, Treasurer Jim Chalmers declined repeatedly on breakfast television to categorically rule out targeting the capital gains tax exemption on the home. Remember, on Tuesday, the government said it will double the tax rate from 15% to 30% for superannuation earnings on funds above $3 million. During last year's election campaign, the government promised not to touch super. Yesterday, Mr Albanese said he wasn't breaking a promise because the tax rate would not kick in until July 1, 2025, which is after the next election. A little bit cute, I think.
Yeah, perhaps just a little bit. Story number 3, Sean, if you need to refinance your home loan, maybe because you're rolling off a fixed rate loan, it is clear that the big lenders are happy to negotiate and do a deal.
Yes, in fact, some of the big banks are offering up to 1% off loans for existing customers, not new customers, existing customers, in an effort to prevent them from switching. There's also cash offers, free NBN. Some banks are offering loans for as long as 40 years. Now, there are billions of dollars in mortgages rolling off ultra-low fixed rates this year, and the home lending market is getting very, very competitive. Banks love home loans because it's a very cheap source of funding to make their own loans. Also, plenty are competing in the market, and everyone is fighting over every single loan. Among the most aggressive has been Macquarie Bank. In fact, its owner-occupier home loan book grew by 20% over the past year. Pretty incredible. NAB was next best, up 10%, followed by Commonwealth Bank, Westpac and ANZ. Moral of this story, Michael, shop around if you want a home loan.
Sean, story number 4, this is quite remarkable. This is rooftop solar is set to become Australia's biggest power source in the next couple of months as household installations surge.
There are now 3.4 million homes and businesses with solar panels producing about 20 gigawatts of power. Now, when Australia's biggest coal-fired power station, Liddell, closes next month, solar panels will take over as the nation's biggest generator. Incredible. The take-up of solar panels has surged since 2008, in part due to government subsidies and also because panels have become cheaper, and of course more recently because energy prices have gone through the roof. Pardon the pun.
Oh, well played. Story number 5, the last one, Sean. We've saved the best for last. This is just bizarre. Vladimir Putin is reportedly living with his gymnast girlfriend at a vast, heavily guarded country estate featuring several palatial mansions, a room coated in gold leaf, of course, and a playground for their young children.
Alina Kabeva is a 39-year-old former Olympic rhythmic gymnastics champion and has long been linked with the 70-year-old Russian leader, according to the Telegraph of London. Kabeva lives on a villa on Mr. Putin's estate about 400 kilometres northwest of Moscow. Now, the Russian president has reportedly bought his lover a property empire worth $120 million through a slush fund in Cyprus. That's according to the Project site, which is a Russian investigative organisation. At nearly 1,200 square metres, apparently the whole mansion is built entirely of wood.
And one of those rooms is coated in gold leaf. I wonder which room it would be. Surely you'd coat the bathroom because it's the smallest room.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not when you're Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, you coat the ballroom then, yes. All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Thursday, the 2nd of March, 2023. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.